Welcome to all of you. Today's lecture is on phrases and clauses. This lecture is based on the content given in page number 66 and 67 of the prescribed textbook for the third semester BA English Language and Literature students of the University of Calicut. We know that the language is constituted of letters of the alphabet, phrases and clauses and sentences. Now let us understand what we mean by a clause. As we see in the slide, a clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. And we know that a subject is the doer of an action, and all that is other than the subject is the word group or the predicate. So we have independent clauses. Independent clauses are also known as principal clauses or main clauses. An independent clause makes sense on its own as a sentence. Example, I went to school. I is the subject, the doer of the action. Went to school is the predicate. And we have the second type of clause, that is dependent clause. Dependent clause cannot convey a complete idea on its own, doesn't make sense on its own as a sentence. Although I wasn't feeling well, I went to school. So, although I wasn't feeling well is incomplete. It doesn't give you a complete idea. You don't know what the person did, went to school or remained at home. But when you combine the main clause, we get a total idea, a complete idea, and we understand that the person was not well and the person went to school despite of having some discomfort. Okay, so we have clauses in the language. Similarly, we have phrases. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words without a subject, verb, component. So any group of words without the subject and predicate, that association of the subject and predicate can be a phrase. And we have different types of phrases like a noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, prepositional phrase, etc. So a noun phrase is a noun plus another word, one or more word, like we have best friend, my best friend. Alright, then verb phrase is a verb plus another word or more words, like we have here was working. Was plus working is verb phrase. Similarly, we have adjective phrase, that is an adjective and one or more words, that is very pretty. Very pretty. Pretty is the adjective. It is preceded by very. When you say a very pretty girl sits in the beach, all right, you have a very pretty. All right, so pretty is preceded by very and a. Then we have adverb phrase, that is adverb and one or more words is adverb phrase. So really slowly is adverb and it is preceded by really. So we have more than one component, one word in this section, and it can be called adverb phrase. Then we have prepositional phrase, that is a preposition and one or more words is a prepositional phrase, like we say the rice is in the bin, right? Look at that, the rice is in the bin. All right, so in the bin is prepositional phrase. So we have an idea of what a phrase is and what a clause is, and we need to remember the fact that we have what is known as the phrase structure grammar. So we have different kinds of grammar, the traditional grammar, modern grammar, and we have Leonard Bloomfield, Noam Chomsky, Ferdinand de Saussure. Also, all these linguists came forward with new ways of dissecting a sentence. And in phrase structure grammar, they say that a sentence can be analyzed by looking at the phrase structure in a sentence. Like we can say there are noun phrases and verb phrases in a sentence. And a sentence like I went to school, it can be divided into the noun phrase and the verb phrase. But here the noun phrase is just the first person pronoun I, and went to school is the verb phrase, and it would be verb plus prepositional phrase. Okay, so we can just summarize the fact that a sentence is noun phrase plus verb phrase. And we have in page number 66 of the course book an example. The little boy slept in the street. The little boy is the noun phrase. Slept in the street is the verb phrase. And we say that it is noun phrase plus verb phrase that a sentence is. Okay, so these terms of course refer to forms. Using terms referring to functions, we would say that the two basic units of the sentence are the subject and the predicate. We begin our discussion with the noun phrase NP, which has an easy to spot characteristic form. Then we look at the other basic sentence constituent, the verb phrase. So phrase structure grammar is a kind of grammar in which you divide or dissect the sentence into this noun phrase and the verb phrase, and you just go looking at the basic contents or elements of the noun phrase as well as the verb phrase. So we will say that the little boy, it is the noun phrase, and the noun phrase is constituted by the little boy. Here we have boy, the noun, and little, the indefinite pronoun. Then we have the definite article, and verb phrase, verb plus prepositional phrase. Slept is the verb, in is the preposition, the street is adverbial adjunct. And now we have to move forward to page number 67. And when we come to page number 67, we have some exercises there. We have 4 groups of exercise. Let us solve these questions. Attempt the questions below. Identify the following in terms of clause or phrase. If it is a clause, specify whether it is dependent clause or an independent clause. Number 1, I got so tired. I got so tired is independent clause because we get an idea. Number 2, even though I got relaxed. Okay, it is a dependent clause because we don't get a complete idea. Number 3 is because I was afraid. This is again incomplete. We don't get a complete idea, and we can say that this is dependent clause. I never realized how losing sleep affected me. This is an independent clause because we get a complete idea. I never realized how losing sleep affected me. No doubt we get a complete idea. The very next day is a phrase. We have no subject or predicate there. It is just a group of words, and we can say that this is a phrase. The next is when I got to work. It's incomplete, so we say it is dependent clause. I forgot to lock the front door of my house. We get a complete idea, and here we have the subject and the predicate, and we say it is independent clause. Walking into the parking lot. Walking into the parking lot is a phrase, no subject, no verb, no complete idea. It is just a group of words, and we say it is a phrase. Number 9, did you ever get a strange feeling that someone was always around you? This is an independent clause. We get a complete idea. We have clauses there, and of course it is complete idea. Number 10, forgot to study for his test. It is incomplete. We don't know who forgot, and we can say that it is a dependent clause. Number 11, all because I left the equipment unattended. All because I left the equipment unattended is again incomplete, and it is a dependent clause. Now we move on to the next category of exercise. Attempt the following tasks. Identify the category of phrase used in each sentence. So here we have to say whether the phrase is a noun phrase or a prepositional phrase or an adverbial phrase or an adjectival phrase. We have 10 sentences. Number 1, they were offered a handsome package. They were offered a handsome package is, alright, it's a noun phrase because package is the noun and the package is accompanied by a and handsome. Alright, so it is, package is a noun, hence it is a noun phrase. They were offered something. They were offered something. They were offered, so this phrase is the object, and the function of object is of course done by a noun, and here package is a noun, and we say that they were offered a handsome package. A handsome package is a noun phrase. Okay, so it is just a handsome package. It is not offered a handsome package. If it is offered a handsome package, it would have been verb phrase, but it is just a handsome package and it is a noun phrase. And understand the fact that there can be a noun phrase in a verb phrase as well. So the next one, the students shall be here in a few seconds. Italicized is in a few seconds. In a few seconds is prepositional phrase. Number 3, this is Mr. Sharma's new car. Mr. Sharma's new car is italicized, and it is just Mr. Sharma's new car, and it is a noun phrase. If it was is Mr. Sharma's new car, we could say that it is verb phrase, but now the italicized section is just Mr. Sharma's new car, and we can say it is a noun phrase. Number 4, the result made me very happy. The result made me very happy. Happy is an adjective and it is preceded by very, an intensifier or an adverb, and we say that very happy is an adjectival phrase. Now we have the next one. The newspaper boy comes in very quickly. The newspaper boy comes in very quickly. Very quickly is italicized and it is quickly preceded by very. It is an adverbial phrase. Adverbial phrase. The old teacher, next one, number 6, the old teacher does the same old tricks. Old teacher does the same old tricks is, okay, tricks preceded by old, same, the, and it is noun phrase because the same old tricks alone is italicized. If it was does the same old tricks, it would have been verb phrase. Number 7, I shall complete the work after some time. I shall complete the work after some time. After is a preposition and after plus some time is prepositional phrase. Number 8, I found the chapter extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. So here we have I found the chapter extremely is an adverb, difficult, right, and it is of course adverbial phrase. I found the chapter how is the chapter? I found the chapter extremely difficult. It is of course adverbial phrase. He left the job for better prospects. He left the job for better prospects is better prospects is prepositional phrase. Now the next one is the boss is extremely self-centered. Self-centered. Boss is self-centered, right? It is adjectival phrase. Self-centered is adjective, and it is extremely self-centered is adjectival phrase. Okay, now we move on to the next category. Identify the category of clauses, whether we have to say the clauses given are declarative statements, imperative commands or requests, interrogative questions, and vocative, where we have a call, calling somebody. So we have clauses, whether mention the clauses, what kind of clauses, right? So number one, students at times like to have a change of subject. Students at times like to have a change of subject is declarative. Post this letter for me, please. Imperative, because it's a request. Are they busy is interrogative, because it's a question. Never ever tell a lie is imperative, it's an advice, or it is of course an order. Number 5 is our land is known for its unity in diversity. Declarative, it's a statement. Does the old student still visit here? It's interrogative, it's a question. It's an yes or no question. Number 7, you can go away now, Babida. It's vocative. It's vocative because we have an address. Babida is address. You can go away now. It's vocative. Next, shut the door at once. It is imperative. It is a command. Number 9, all the girls prefer computer science. It's a statement and hence it is declarative. Number 10, Anuja, all your friends are waiting outside, is vocative because it is an address to, it's a call to Anuja. Now we have yet another group of exercise. Identify subject, verb, object, adverbial and complement in each sentence. Okay, number 1, Shabnam likes grapes. Shabnam is subject, likes is verb, grapes is object. So the structure of the sentence is SVO. Shabnam likes grapes. Number 2, Maithili gifted me a book. Maithili is subject, gifted is verb, me is indirect object, a book is direct object. Maithili gifted me a book. Subject plus verb plus indirect object plus direct object. Number 3, the teachers considered Aslam foolish. The teachers considered Aslam foolish. Alright. The teachers subject considered verb. The teachers considered, teachers subject considered verb. Aslam object, foolish object complement. Alright. The teachers considered Aslam foolish. Once again, teachers, the teacher subject considered verb, Aslam object, foolish object complement. Alright. The teachers considered Aslam what? Aslam foolish. Number 4, the parent gave the message in the evening. The parent subject gave the verb, the message object in the evening adverbial. The parent gave the message in the evening. Subject plus verb plus object plus adverbial. Prepositional phrase or adverbial. Number 5, I reside near Edapalli. I subject, reside verb. Near Edapalli is adverbial phrase, near Edapalli. Number 6, the income tax officials found him guilty. The income tax officials subject, found verb, him object, guilt object complement. Subject plus verb plus object complement. The income tax officials found him guilty. Next we have the new actor is totally stylish. The new actor's subject is verb. Totally stylish is adjective phrase. The new actor is stylish. Stylish is complement. Totally stylish is of course the complement. And here we have this is in fact also an adjectival phrase, right? The new actor subject is verb. Totally stylish is complement, like the new actor is an engineer. Okay. Number 8, the servant reported me about the incident. The servant subject, reported verb, me is the indirect object, reported what about the incident is direct object. So it is the S plus V plus IO plus DO, subject plus verb plus indirect object plus direct object. The servant reported me about the incident. Number 9, her friends made her a scapegoat. Her friend subject made verb. Her a scapegoat is object complement. Her is object and a scapegoat is object complement. Her friends made her a scapegoat. Her friends subject made verb. Her is object, a scapegoat is object complement. Her friends made her a scapegoat. Her friends made her what? A scapegoat. And her friends made who? Her. So her friends made her a scapegoat is subject plus verb plus object complement. Number 10, I consider her adorable. I is subject, consider is verb, her is object, adorable is object complement. I consider her adorable. I consider her what? I consider her adorable. So it is subject plus verb plus object complement, adorable. Okay, now we have the last section in this unit, that is on phrases and clauses. We have also restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. We have to understand the distinction between restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. A restrictive clause provides information that is essential to the meaning of the sentence. A non-restrictive clause, also called a parenthetical or an appositive, contains information that is extra. So we have additional extra information in a non-restrictive clause, and we don't have that additional information in a restrictive clause. Information contained in a non-restrictive clause may be removed from the sentence altogether without changing the overall meaning of the sentence, because this information is not crucial to the meaning of a sentence. It is set apart with commas. So we have a restrictive clause here in this sentence. The man whom I met at the railway station was wearing my same uniform. Now we have a non-restrictive clause where we have additional information, where we have commas separating the main clause. Emily Bronte's novel Wuthering Heights, which I read in my fiction course this semester, is a classic, right? So the very main idea is, main clause is Emily Bronte's novel Wuthering Heights is a classic, right? But an additional information is given that I read this novel during my fiction course. So it is non-restrictive. Non-restrictive, we have commas, so very easy to understand. Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights, comma, which I read in my fiction course this semester, comma, is a classic, right? It is non-restrictive or parenthetical or appositive. Additional information is given in between commas, right? So with this we come to the end of lecture on phrases and clauses. Thanks a lot for listening.